Hey everyone, this is Julian from the Binary Lab, and in this video, I'm gonna be talking about the topic of even though. Alright? Even though things may be difficult, even though things may be posing an obstacle in your way, alright? We're gonna get things done. So I'm saying this in addition to a previous email that I sent to you. In that previous email, I also gave you a link to an old 26-minute YouTube video where I gave a training about how, the exact formula that I used to make some of the biggest transformations in my career that you can do too in a series of steps if you just follow that 26-minute video. In that 26-minute video, I'll teach you how to set a powerful goal, and on top of that, the visualization of the process so that you can actually make that real in 6 months or less, and most likely even in 3 months. It was this exact same process that I used to go from like debt to medium wealth, and from medium wealth to large wealth. I used this process several times in my life, and after going through that email, right, basically the reason why I'm making this video also is because some people have already gone ahead and done it, but there are also some people who are facing some obstacles. Sometimes these obstacles can be very legitimate reasons. For example, someone could be moving house within the next month, and perhaps he's thinking, well, it all sounds good, but I'm moving house in a month from now, and I will be kind of unsettled, so I'm not sure if I have the time to do the work on this. Shall we keep this for later? Or, because I'm moving house in a month from now, I don't know how I'm going to be visualizing 3 months from then. Or it could be that someone has a dog just like I do. My dog's having like renal issues, and I have to IV him on a daily basis. Some people could say, well, someone has a dog or cat with renal issues and has to IV a dog, run to and fro to the vet on a daily basis, and it takes a lot of time. And some people could be in the midst of a very messy relationship, or perhaps a beloved family member could be in hospital on the last days of life. Okay, and these are legitimate scenarios. And I totally understand, I totally sympathize and empathize with you. But the thing is, I want to share with you how I have previously, gone ahead with making big transformation that I needed so much in my life, in spite of, even though I had very legitimate problems, as legitimate as yours. I think back to a time, after my daughter was born. From that point when my daughter was born, actually even after my son was born, okay, those were the times back then I had no money. I was at the lowest pit of my life. My tennis business failed because for the longest rain spell in history in Singapore, all the ad spend to putting together the largest tennis camp came to nothing, and it was just basically debts running for tennis courts that were hired but could not be used, staff that I paid a retainer to, but I could never get their services because the weather was never good enough to work. And then I had this unhappy marriage that I had to get off because it was so toxic to me. For those of you who may be in a nasty relationship, my heart totally goes out to you. And some of you, who may not be in one right now, but remember a time back then where you're in a very toxic relationship, where you broke out on a very bad note. Before you broke up, perhaps plates were flying, there were daily arguments, drama, sorrow. There's a lot of emotional drain, and would you agree that is actually one of the worst times to actually be working on your success? But for me, success at my lowest point in my life was so necessary. I was in debt. I had no credit. No credit meaning that I had a bad credit score. I had basically not even the means to afford a divorce lawyer. And I had definitely had no means for any form of divorce settlement when it came down to it. So that was a time where I decided that even though, all right, on a daily basis, I have to deal with all the distraction, the disturbance, the drama, the shouting, and on top of that, protecting the kids from all that nasty, that nasty elements that they shouldn't be seeing at their tender age, shielding their ears from all the drama, making sure that they're out of the way, okay, and then suffering all this BS that I didn't felt that I deserved. I made a decision that in spite of all this, all right, I need to make things work, because if I do not take massive action, if I do not do the things that I have visualized, all right, or if I fail to visualize a better scenario for myself under those sickening, basically shit, living conditions, living frustrations, there will never be a better tomorrow. So visualize was what I did. And there's a thing that happens with, there's one thing that happens with the mind, okay? I've read books on psychology that have said that when you consciously think of something, the mind does not have the ability to differentiate what's fact, what's fiction, what's reality, what's thought. And if you have ever tricked yourself into believing a lie, or if you have created a lie to mask an ugly truth in your life, ever, okay, and would you agree with me that the lie that you have once ever created to cover a piece of ugly truth was something that you've grown to believe in, and your mind couldn't, sometimes you even forget in the first place that it's not reality. That is the power of the subconscious mind. And it's when you visualize, when you spend a conscious attempt to visualize, and to do so on a daily basis, the mind will start to believe. And when the mind starts to believe, these powerful thoughts will create the powerful you that will come along with it. So when you're writing your personal statement, like I said, maybe you could be moving house, maybe you could be in a bad relationship, maybe your beloved dog or cat of like 14 or 15 years is critically ill and needs daily treatment. Maybe someone close to you is on the last days or last months in the hospital. Alright? It is never too early to get started on working on you. And I want you to say in your statement, let's say if your goal is to create 30K of income in the next 90 days. You may have never done this before, but you know that through the trainings that you've been watching of me teaching trading lessons, you know that this is achievable. Because you've practiced on demo, you've practiced on live, you've grown your live account. You know that this can take you to the next level. You know you have it in you. Maybe you just need larger trade sizes. Maybe you need a higher frequency of trades. Maybe you need, maybe you need a better environment, because you know that if you took time off from work and put it here instead, you could achieve more. Okay? If you can already see that, that is just the beginning to your success. But now the thing is to visualize. And because when you visualize, you can create that reality that your mind will believe in. And when you live in the reality that you have created for yourself, it will become real. This is one of the wonderful ways that the mind works. And this is one of the wonderful ways in which, I have gone from, 5-figure debt, nearly 6-figure debt, to 6 figures in my bank account, and gone from 6 figures in my bank account to 7 figures in my bank account, all through this process. Sometimes you're thinking that, some of you, I actually have spoken with a few people in the Binary Lab, and some people who know my story, who know about the bad toxic relationship that I've been in, and some people even witnessed back in the day, drama that I had to mute out because somehow my ex, and sometimes in the past, during a webinar, my ex-wife would just suddenly storm over and create a whole ruckus. I had to suddenly mute out, right? Or sometimes I would just disappear from webinar. This was years ago, before the divorce finally went through. Some people remember those times, and because of that, they actually identified with me. Some people were also having problems with their marriage at the time. Some people were going through divorce and a tough patch, and this is for them, this was proof, and I see that several of them are now in a better place because they saw that from my experience. Even though all these challenges are there, it's not enough a legit obstacle to not go to a better place. In fact, all the more, we should get there faster. We should get out of there to save ourselves, to save our kids, to save our career. If you feel that you're being clipped, if you feel that you have there are already wings growing out of your sides, that you're ready to fly, you're ready to live out the best years of your life, but you're just being held back by something. You know what? Even though all these things are there, think of the butterfly cocoon. A while ago, on Instagram, I snapped. Can't remember the name for it. It's a large. It was like it was a caterpillar with long. It's a large green caterpillar with these eyes that look like a snake, and that's how it actually scares off other predators, by curling up its head so it looks like a snake, but actually just a caterpillar. I caught it, and I put it in a jar with perforated holes for breathing so that my kids could notice its development. Alright, the cocoon is so hard to break out. Even though the cocoon is so hard to break out of, think of it as if you had to wear a straight jacket. The caterpillar had to do that too in its final phases of development before it becomes into a butterfly. And the wings are bound. If it's like you have halfway of free play, it's easy to break out of. But when you have no free play at all, you have to force it open. Even though under those harder circumstances, it can do that. Why not you? Alright? So even though you may be facing challenges, I want you to know that I've gotten through them, and so can you. Alright? And I want you to accept your visualization of your success and start working towards that being your reality. This is Julian from the Binary Lab. Thanks for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe and share this video if it helped you out. Good trading.